Have you ever had that feeling, that nagging sense of being adrift? Maybe overwhelmed with information, but still somehow not clear.
Oh, definitely. It's like having, yeah, a million tabs open in your brain.
Exactly. But no real answers, no, lasting peace. In this age of just endless data, finding genuine insight feels, well, harder than ever.
It really does. It's a super common experience, that feeling of mental clutter,
Yeah.
or maybe like a persistent fog that just obscures what really matters.
Yeah. The fog analogy is good.
We consume so much information, but actual wisdom, it often seems to just slip through our fingers.
Absolutely. So today, for our deep dive, we're actually going back, way back,
Okay.
to some ancient wisdom that tackles this exact challenge. We're exploring a really powerful collection of discourses from the Buddhist tradition, mostly focusing on the Anguttara Nikaya.
Ah, the Book of Fives.
That's the one. And these aren't just, historical texts collecting dust. They offer surprisingly relevant insights into the internal stuff and even external factors that either block us or help us find real understanding, inner peace.
And what's fascinating, I think, is how practical these ancient teachings are. They give you these frameworks for navigating your own mind.
Right.
It's often less about abstract philosophy and more about understanding the kind of mechanics of how your mind works.
Okay, so our mission today, then, is to explore these teachings together. We want to unpack what might be holding you back, maybe what qualities you can cultivate.
And how to handle life's challenges with more clarity.
Exactly. Regardless of your personal background or beliefs, we'll try to distill the practical knowledge, find those memorable analogies.
Make it accessible.
Make it accessible and actionable for you. So let's dig in. The invisible barriers to clarity. Understanding the 5 hindrances. Okay, let's start with what these ancient texts call nivaranas. That's nivaranas.
That's right.
Often translated as obstacles or hindrances. And the sources, they describe them vividly, like coverings of the mind.
Coverings, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and they say these coverings literally weaken wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Think of them like, invisible filters distorting how you see things. Or maybe that mental static that makes it hard to hear yourself think.
That's a great way to put it, like static. Because when your mind is clouded by these hindrances, well, it becomes almost impossible to truly understand yourself.
Or others.
Or grasp any deeper insights. The texts are pretty blunt, actually. They call them the entire heap of unwholesomeness.
Wow, the entire heap. That's strong language.
It is. It really underlines their detrimental effect.
So what are they? These 5 specific mental blocks. The first one is sensory desire.
Kamachando.
Right. This is that powerful craving, isn't it, for pleasant experiences, seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling nice things.
It's not just like appreciating beauty, though.
No, it's the relentless wanting more pleasure, the
Right.
chasing.
Exactly. Then number 2 is ill will. Vyappado.
And this isn't just a bad mood, right?
No, it covers anger, resentment, just general aversion to things, people, situations. It just poisons your mental state.
Makes it impossible to see clearly or be kind, I guess.
Pretty much. Okay, number 3,
Right.
sloth and torpor. Tinamidha, pinamidam.
It sounds heavy.
It is. It's not just being physically tired. It's a mental sluggishness, a dullness, almost a drowsiness. Your mind feels heavy, unproductive.
Like mental quicksand.
That's it. Mental quicksand. Sucks your energy, makes progress feel impossible.
Okay. Number 4.
Restlessness and remorse. Udakakukuchtam.
I think I know this one. That agitated, anxious feeling.
Yeah, and often paired with guilt or regret about things you've done or haven't done.
Right. Keeps the mind churning. Unsettled.
Constantly replaying stuff or jumping ahead.
Yeah.
No room for calm.
And the last one. Number 5.
Skeptical doubt. Vichikicha.
Now, this isn't healthy curiosity, is it? Like asking, how does this work?
No, not that kind of constructive questioning. This is more like a corrosive, paralyzing indecision. It stops you from even trying a path because you're constantly second-guessing everything. Every step, any potential insight, it can really halt your progress.
Yeah, I can see how that would be paralyzing.
So if you look at the big picture, these 5 hindrances, they're seen as the main internal roadblocks.
To clarity.
To mental clarity, yeah. In any real inner development, they're like these universal apps running in the background.
It's draining the mental battery.
Exactly. Draining the battery and fogging up the screen.
Okay, but the texts also offer analogies, right? There's one about a river.
Oh, yeah. It's a fantastic one. Really powerful. Imagine a huge mountain river, right? Swift, strong, far-reaching, carrying everything along.
Okay, got it.
Now, what if someone digs channels, opens them up on both sides of this powerful river?
The water would scatter, right? Disperse.
Precisely. It scatters, it disperses, and it loses its power. It can't flow strongly anymore. It can't carry things far.
I see where this is going.
This analogy just perfectly highlights the practical impact of these internal states, these hindrances.
So when the 5 hindrances are active in your mind,
Your flow of wisdom is just like that scattered river. It's dispersed, weakened,
it can't achieve its purpose. Your insights just scatter.
and your ability to act with real intention just fades.
And this is the hopeful bit, I guess, when those channels are closed off, when the hindrances are removed.
Then wisdom becomes strong again. They're
Yeah.
purposeful, like that river flowing unimpeded.
It's such a vivid way to show how directly these inner states affect our capacity for insight and, well, effective action. 2, the battle for inner purity, navigating sensory peril and the warrior's path.
Okay, so moving from those, let's say, more abstract mental barriers to something very human, temptation. There's this story in the sources, quite powerful, about a mother and son.
Both monastics.
Right, both had taken vows, living disciplined lives, but, well, they started interacting a lot, drawn by affection,
The closeness.
Yeah, and this frequent closeness led to familiarity, and eventually, well, despite their training, they fell into misconduct.
They broke their vows. And apparently, without even fully realizing they were abandoning their chosen path, just drifted into it.
It's a tragic story, and the texts use it as this really profound warning about the sheer power of sensory experiences.
Right.
Now, the sources specifically mention the woman's form, sound, scent, taste, touch. But the underlying message is universal, isn't it?
Absolutely. It applies to any powerful allure that just grabs the mind.
And the text really doesn't hold back. It's quite vivid.
Yeah.
It states pretty clearly that there's no other single form as alluring, as desirable, as intoxicating, as binding, as deluding, or as obstructive to liberation as these really powerful sensory attractions.
Right.
And it elaborates, talks about how seductive this is, even in walking, standing, sitting, lying down,
Laughing, speaking, singing.
crying, moaning. Even after death, these forms can capture the mind. They're explicitly called the snare of Mara.
Mara. Remind us who Mara represents here.
Mara represents the forces of temptation, delusion, death. Basically, the unwholesome forces that bind us to suffering. The ultimate obstacle.
This is the ultimate snare. Okay, so this raises a huge question then. How do we resist something so powerful?
Well, the sources offer another really compelling analogy here. The 5 kinds of spiritual warriors.
Spiritual warriors. Okay, I like the sound of that.
Yeah, it's a framework to help us understand different levels of, let's say, internal struggle and success when we face temptation, whether that's sensory pleasure or anger, or even just the subtle pull of comfort.
Okay, so who are these warriors? And what can they teach us about our own inner battles?
Right. The first level is the dust-seeing warrior.
Dust-seeing, what does that mean?
This is someone who basically gives up at the mere rumor of temptation.
Just hearing about it.
Yeah. They don't even need to see the alluring thing itself. Just the idea, the whisper, is enough to make them falter. Imagine someone getting derailed just hearing about a new, tempting gadget online.
Okay, I can picture that. Easily swayed. What's next?
Level 2. The banner-seeing warrior.
Banner-seeing.
This one can withstand the rumors, the dust, but they fall when they actually see the direct object of temptation.
Okay. So they might hear about the latest fashion trend and be fine.
Right, but then they see it in the shop window and bam, their resolve crumbles. They give in.
Got it. Level 3.
The provocation-hearing warrior.
Provocation hearing.
This person can handle seeing the tempting thing, but they succumb to direct verbal enticement.
Like being flattered or teased or talked into it?
Exactly. Seduced by words. Think of giving in to peer pressure or getting drawn into harmful gossip.
Okay. Number 4 must be getting closer to the action.
It is the combat-engaged warrior. This warrior can resist the words, the verbal stuff.
Yeah.
But they fall when there's physical proximity or actual interaction. They enter the fray, you could say.
It's step into the ring.
Right. But they break their vows or their intentions in that moment of contact. This is the person who goes to the party fully intending not to drink.
But then someone offers them one, and they take it.
Precisely. They engage, but lose the battle.
Okay, so there has to be a 5th one, the winner.
There is. The victorious warrior. This is the goal, the ultimate path.
This is what makes them victorious.
This warrior withstands all temptations. They maintain their inner composure, their strength, and the texts detail how they do it.
How?
They diligently guard their senses, actively protect the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind from getting tangled up in desire or ill will.
So it's an active guarding, not just passively hoping temptation goes away.
Exactly. It's conscious engagement.
Yeah.
And they cultivate solitude, concentration. They seek out secluded places.
Forests, caves.
Forests, tree roots, caves, yeah. Places for deep reflection. Actively cleansing the mind of those 5 hindrances we talked about earlier.
Right, getting rid of the mental static.
And through these practices, they progress through the 4 jhanas.
Jhanas. These are deep meditative states.
Profound stages of deep concentration and bliss, yes. And ultimately, through all this, they realize profound insight into suffering, its origin, its end, and the path to its end.
Liberation.
They become liberated from what the text called defilements, or asava.
Asava. What are those exactly?
Think of them as ingrained mental impurities or outflows. Things like sensual desire, the craving for existence itself, ignorance. The deep roots of suffering.
Okay.
And the text says about the victorious warrior, they've finished the holy life, done what was to be done. There is no more for this state of being.
Wow. Complete freedom.
It's a truly comprehensive path to inner freedom, built on vigilance, practice, and insight. 3, conditions for growth and decline, personal and collective pathways.
Okay, so if those are the barriers and that's the path of the warrior to overcome them, what conditions actually help us grow? And what things might cause us, or even a whole community, to decline?
That's a crucial question, and the sources definitely address it. They outline 5 factors that are really vital for what's called spiritual exertion or progress.
Spiritual exertion, what helps us make that effort?
Well, what's insightful here is how interconnected these factors are. It's a really holistic view of well-being, going beyond just, sitting meditation.
Okay, so what are they?
First, there's faith.
But not blind faith, right?
No, not blind belief. It's more like a deep conviction or trust in a path or a set of principles that you've actually seen or experienced lead to good results. Confidence grounded in understanding.
Okay, makes sense. Second.
Good health. A physical state that actually supports focused effort and well-being. It's hard to strive when you're constantly unwell.
True. Third.
Honesty or sincerity. This means being really truthful with yourself and with your teachers or mentors, not putting on a brave face.
Because real progress needs real self-awareness.
Exactly. You can't fix what you don't acknowledge. 4th is initiated effort.
An initiated effort.
So like getting started.
Getting started and keeping going. It's an energetic, consistent dedication, actively letting go of the unwholesome stuff and cultivating the wholesome. It's not passive hope, it's active work.
Right. Real striving. And number 5, wisdom. A penetrative insight that sees the impermanence of things, understands suffering, and ultimately leads towards its end.
So faith, health, honesty, effort, wisdom, a pretty solid foundation.
Absolutely. But these personal qualities, while vital, aren't the whole picture. The texts also stress how important the external environment is.
Like our surroundings.
Yes. They talk about favorable and unfavorable times for practice. Unfavorable times, when progress is difficult, include things like old age, sickness, famine.
Basic survival needs not being met.
Right. Difficulty just getting sustenance. Also, danger or unrest. The text mentions forest in turmoil or people plundered. Hard to focus inward when there's chaos outside.
And crucially,
Disunity within the community. Internal conflict really drains energy and focus.
that makes perfect sense. You can see how physical conditions and social harmony would massively impact your ability to practice anything deeply.
Precisely. Conversely, favorable times are marked by youth, good health, plenty of food, peace and unity among people.
And unity within the community itself.
Yes. And the core message is stark. Make the effort before the unfavorable times hit. Seize the opportunity when things are good, because life doesn't guarantee ideal circumstances forever.
Use the good times wisely. Okay. Now, the sources also talk about leaders, right? Elders within the monastic community.
They do, and it's fascinating how applicable this is to mentors or leaders in any field, really. They outline qualities that attract dislike and disrespect versus those that earn affection and respect.
Okay, let's hear the undesirable ones first. What makes a leader disliked?
Well, they group them into categories. There are integrity issues, being easily swayed by desire, ill will, delusion, being deceitful, flattering, exploiting others for personal gain.
Then self-serving behaviors.
Yeah, like being resentful, arrogant, always seeking gain from gain, basically using their position for personal advantage.
And finally, a lack of inner discipline.
Exactly. Being faithless, shameless, heedless, lazy, unwise. Or maybe just impatient with sensory experiences, easily irritated by sights, sounds, smells, tastes, touches, lacking that inner grounding.
It paints a pretty clear picture of someone you wouldn't trust or respect.
It does. And this leads to a really important point about the impact of leadership.
What's that?
A respected, popular elder, someone with influence, who holds wrong views. According to these sources, they can lead many, many people astray.
Their influence becomes harmful.
Profoundly harmful. Their errors can spread widely, almost like infecting the whole community.
Wow. But the flip side?
The flip side is just as powerful. An equally respected elder who holds right views grounded in wisdom, ethics.
They lead many to benefit.
Exactly. It really highlights the immense responsibility of leadership and how crucial it is for those in influential positions to embody positive qualities. It's not just what they say.
It's who they are, what they embody.
Precisely. Setting an example that fosters wisdom and right conduct, not perpetuating negativity.
Okay, and what about those still learning? The trainees. Are there specific pitfalls for them?
Yes. The texts outline factors for decline and non-decline for trainees, too. Factors leading to decline include things like, well, excessive engagement in work.
Even just busy work.
Yeah, trifling tasks taking up the whole day. Also, excessive talk or gossip, excessive sleep, too much socializing or mingling, especially outside the core practice community.
And crucially,
failing to regularly review one's own mind, especially any liberation or insights already gained, like returning late to your practice because you got caught up in distractions.
or losing interest in discussions that actually deepen understanding.
Right, not delighting in talks conducive to liberation.
So the factors for non-decline are basically the opposite.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
Not getting overly caught up in work, talk, sleep, or company. Consciously making time for solitude. Actively reflecting on your progress and insights.
It reinforces the gain.
Exactly. Prevents backsliding. It all boils down to consistent intentional practice and mindfulness about how you spend your time and energy. 5E, proactive vigilance.
Yeah.
Anticipating future dangers to practice.
Now, shifting focus a bit. These texts actually look to the future. They talk about potential dangers to the teachings themselves.
They do, yeah. It's quite striking. They describe 5 future dangers, not just for individuals, but for the whole system, the community. Threats that could cause wisdom and discipline to decline over generations.
That's incredibly forward-looking, almost like a sociological prediction based on human nature.
It really feels that way. The first danger they predict is the corruption of training.
Beaming.
A future where practitioners, monks, in this context, but it applies broadly, will be undeveloped, lacking in bodily discipline, morality, mental cultivation, and wisdom.
And the consequence.
They won't be able to guide others effectively, which leads to this cascading decline in both the understanding of the teachings, doctrine, and the practice discipline. The whole lineage weakens.
So it's like having the instructions but not knowing how to actually follow them or embody them.
Precisely. Knowledge without genuine embodiment, which leads to the second danger, misguided dependence. Untrained individuals become the ones others rely on for guidance. So you get this cycle of uninformed guidance perpetuating the decline.
Passing on misunderstanding.
Exactly. The third danger is superficial learning.
Intellectualizing.
Pretty much. Practitioners might discuss complex philosophical topics, maybe the deep Abhidhamma or Vedanta texts.
Impressive stuff on the surface.
Right. But they fail to recognize the unwholesome states, the hindrances within themselves. It's knowledge without self-awareness or practical application. A huge warning about getting lost in concepts without inner change.
That really rings true, even today. Information overload without transformation.
Indeed. Danger number 4 is a preference for distracting teachings.
What does that mean?
Untrained individuals start ignoring the deep core teachings, the ones about transcending the world, about emptiness.
The really challenging stuff.
Yes. And instead, they opt for teachings that are maybe more external, poetic, artfully phrased, perhaps delivered by charismatic disciples rather than rooted in the core principles.
Gravitating towards what's entertaining or appealing rather than what's truly profound and transformative.
You got it. And finally, the 5th danger, laxity in elders.
Ah, the leaders again.
Yes. Senior members become indulgent, slack off, maybe even lead the way in backsliding, to neglect seclusion, stop putting in the effort.
And the juniors follow their example.
Exactly. It creates this ripple effect of decline throughout the community. Again, stressing how vital it is for leaders to embody the principles they supposedly uphold.
These 5 dangers seem like a roadmap for how any valuable tradition or system could slowly erode.
It's quite insightful, isn't it? And they get even more practical.
How so?
They also list 5 other future dangers, specifically related to basic necessities: robes, food, dwellings.
Wow, down to the basics. It shows how grounded these teachings are, even their predictions. Okay, what's the first one?
The danger of craving for fine robes. The prediction is that practitioners will abandon simple patch robes and maybe their forest dwellings.
Move to towns.
Move to towns, seek out inappropriate ways to make a living, all just to get luxurious clothing,
A shift from simplicity to materialism.
directly impacting their practice and integrity.
Yeah.
Second, very similar, craving for fine alms food.
Better food.
Right? Abandoning the traditional alms round, maybe the simple forest life, again moving to towns to seek out delicious tastes, finding inappropriate livelihoods.
Okay. And third, must be dwellings.
Craving for fine dwellings.
Yeah.
Yep. Abandoning remote, simple huts or caves for grander buildings and towns. These first 3 really point to that comfort-seeking tendency.
Which can erode commitment to the harder, deeper work.
Absolutely. A shift from an environment supporting austere practice to one of indulgence, often losing sight of the deeper purpose.
Makes sense. What are the last 2 dangers in this list?
The fourth is about inappropriate relationships, specifically mentioning mixing too freely with nuns, female trainees, novices.
In a way that compromises the practice.
Yes, in a way that could lead to losing delight in the holy life, as they put it, potentially falling into offenses, breaking vows, or even giving up the training altogether.
A warning about maintaining boundaries necessary for the path.
Exactly. And the fifth is similar, but about mixing with lay workers or attendants,
How is that a danger?
leading to things like indulging in stored goods, becoming attached to comforts provided by others, or even getting careless about rules, like making marks on the ground or harming plants. It sounds specific, but points to a general drift towards carelessness and entanglement with worldly affairs.
So these aren't just abstract worries. They're presented as very real threats rooted in basic human tendencies towards comfort, distraction, and laxity over time.
Precisely, a call for proactive vigilance. V, cultivating the mind for unshakable liberation.
Okay, so we've seen the hindrances, the warrior's path, the conditions for growth and decline, and even future dangers. How do we actively counteract all this? How do we cultivate a mind that leads to that unshakable liberation you mentioned?
Right, their sects lay out several key mental cultivation practices, specific ways of perceiving the world that are said to lead to great fruit, great benefit, merging with the deathless, and ending in the deathless.
Merging with the deathless. That sounds incredibly profound. A true path to freedom. What are these core practices?
Well, one is developing a perception of aversion to the body's impurity.
Okay, that sounds a bit intense. It's not self-loathing, is it?
No, not at all. It's more about recognizing the impermanent, fragile, and ultimately unattractive nature of the physical form from a deep wisdom perspective, seeing it as a collection of parts, a vehicle.
Not the ultimate reality or source of lasting happiness?
Exactly. Another is the perception of death.
Memento mori.
Yes, a clear, present contemplation of your own mortality. Not morbidly, but realistically. This can bring a powerful sense of urgency and clarity about what truly matters.
It definitely forces a shift in perspective, confronting things we usually push away.
It does. Another key one is the perception of loathsomeness in food.
Loathsomeness, again, sounds strong.
It's not about dieting or developing an eating disorder. It's a mental cultivation. Seeing food primarily as fuel, as sustenance for the body to continue the practice.
Rather than a primary source of pleasure or craving.
Right. It helps break that strong mental attachment to taste that often leads to overindulgence or dissatisfaction when we don't get what we want.
Okay, seeing it functionally.
And the texts also mention non-delight in the whole world.
Whoa, that sounds bleak, like nihilism.
Not nihilism, not detachment from caring about life or others. It's more a profound dispassion. Freedom from the constant chasing of worldly pleasures, possessions, status.
Because you see they're impermanent.
Exactly. See, they can't deliver lasting, ultimate happiness, so you stop pinning your hopes on them. It's a release, a freedom.
So it really is about seeing things as they truly are, not just as we wish they were or as they appear on the surface.
Precisely. And the culmination of really developing these perceptions, along with concentration and ethical conduct, is that state of mind liberation and wisdom liberation.
And there was a metaphor for this liberated person.
Yes, several powerful ones. They've lifted the bar, meaning eradicated ignorance. They've narrowed the moat, ending the cycle of rebirth.
Uprooted the state.
That signifies ending craving. Unbarred the gate, meaning they've broken through the lower mental centers, the things that bind us most strongly.
And ultimately?
Ultimately, they're described as noble, dropped his banner, dropped his burden, unbound.
Dropped his banner. Like no more ego.
Exactly. Eradicated that fundamental conceit of I am. Achieved a state of complete freedom and peace.
Wow. Okay. And the texts also mention specific growths for someone on this path, like signs of progress.
Yes, 5 ways a noble disciple grows, extracting the essence of their being, as the text puts it.
What are it?
Growth in faith, that grounded conviction. Growth in moral conduct. Growth in learning, understanding the teachings. Growth in generosity. And crucially, growth in wisdom.
Faith, conduct, learning, generosity, wisdom, the core qualities deepen.
They mature and deepen, yes, leading towards that ultimate liberation. And this culminates in what's called unshakable penetration.
Unshakable. Like stability that can't be discerned.
Exactly. And the factors for achieving this, they include having those analytical insights we mentioned, deep understanding of meaning, doctrine, language, quick wit.
Being sharp, insightful.
Yes. Also, regularly reviewing one's own liberated mind, reinforcing the progress made. Being content with little, easily supported, moderate in eating, not overly fond of sleep. Learned.
Embracing simplicity and diligence.
Right. And delighting in conversations that lead towards liberation, self-effacement, contentment, seclusion, non-association, energetic effort, morality, concentration, wisdom. Seeking out supportive dialogue.
Again, finally.
Finally, being a forest dweller, which can be taken literally but also metaphorically as embracing solitude in environments conducive to insight.
Okay. Now, you mentioned the Buddha being compared to a lion.
Yes, a powerful analogy right at the end of these sections. The Buddha is called the lion of men.
Why a lion?
Because a lion roars fearlessly in the jungle and all other animals listen. Similarly, the Buddha teaches the Dhamma, the truth, fearlessly and openly to all beings.
Not just monks and nuns.
No monks, nuns, laymen, laywomen, even hunters mentioned specifically. Teaching earnestly, not casually, showing deep respect for the truth itself. It's universal and direct.
And this is contrasted with false teachers.
Sharply contrasted, yes. The Kakuta Sutta, another text referenced, highlights 5 types of false teachers. Their purity, whether in morals, livelihood, teaching, explanation, or knowledge, is questionable.
How so?
Their reputation, the text implies, depends on their disciples protecting it, shielding them.
Ah, so they need external validation. Their image needs managing.
Precisely. So it's like a carefully managed brand, not inherent quality.
So it's more of a performance.
You can say that. The Buddha, by contrast, declares his own purity without needing anyone to protect him or prop him up. Because his purity, his liberation and wisdom is inherent, unshakable.
It's genuine.
It's genuine. It powerfully underscores the difference between authentic, realized wisdom and mere appearance or charisma. A lesson that feels incredibly relevant today, with curated images and online personas everywhere. Authenticity versus performance.
Wow. What an incredible journey into this ancient wisdom. Today, we've really taken a deep dive, haven't we? Exploring those invisible internal obstacles, the 5 hindrances that cloud our clarity. We journeyed through the stages of the spiritual warrior, looking at what leads to inner victory.
Understanding that internal battle.
Yeah. And we examine the conditions needed for inner growth, both personal and communal, and those timeless dangers that can derail the path.
All leading toward that idea of profound, unshakable liberation.
And these aren't just, dusty historical teachings. They feel like incredibly practical maps for navigating the complexities of your own mind, your own life right now.
Absolutely. The insights about hindrances, the stages of struggle, the qualities of a healthy community or a healthy personal practice, they feel universal, timeless.
Like a blueprint for cutting through all the noise we started with.
Finding that true insight, yeah.
So maybe something for you, the listener, to consider. How might really understanding those 5 hindrances change how you approach your daily challenges, especially when you feel stuck or foggy or overwhelmed?
And perhaps what's one small intentional shift you could make this week? Something to embody just one quality of that victorious warrior in your own life.
Moving just a little bit closer to that unshakable clarity and inner peace.
Oh.
Worth thinking about.